So let's talk about design. Obviously, this is a refreshment. Like we don't have to redesign the whole car. But you can see, it's an opportunity to go back into the wish list and make sure that the car hits that level of craftsmanship that we've always been targeted and get to that premium level. So looking at the Mazda 3, and especially the front face, I'll have to wait for that train. Basically every 5 minutes we've got, I have to interrupt, but looking at the front face, we have to make it stronger. As the brand is evolving, we want that Mazda face, again, to be recognizable from 10 to 100 yards away. So compared to the old model, what we've done is, first of all, have a wider grille. You have a lot more presence when you see the car from far away. So we widened the grille, we added a little bit of height, even though you have the license plate into it, you have a clear identity of what that car wants to be. If you remember the 5-point grille that we have in the past Mazda 3, now we're creating almost like a 6 and 7 point with a kick within the grille to enable the full loop around the front grille. What it does, it creates this kind of fuselage effect, where the car, identity go from the front all the way to the back. And that refers with psychology to something that's very automotive. Now, if you look at the thickness of the grille, we have something a lot stronger than the last generation, where the grille was kind of more submissive to your A-side surfaces. This grille is completely inserted into it. So you have much more of a three-dimensional quality of the entire front face. This is what we call a defragmentation thematic, which works with the car to enable something a lot stronger, a message that you can see from really far away. Now, the other point is how to make the car actually feel more stable. So again, when you kind of glimpse your eyes, you look at the old model and the new model, we want to bring a lot of the bright work lower. So if you compare those two, the level of the grille that was going up the fenders is now much lower. And then from side view, it picks the lighting of the signature lighting, connecting with the optic. Everything is basically cutting the car in half. You don't have that vertical movement anymore. You're going to see the whole car being a lot more horizontal. Same thing with the detail on the fog lamp. Those details are now much more horizontal instead of having that vertical movement. So the car is moving into that premium territory. So on your rear of your mirror, you'll see that car being a lot more planted. On the rear, you'll see we have actually the same treatment, where we have something a lot more horizontal to enable a light catcher to stabilize the vehicle. Now on the interior, and I've worked a lot on the first generation, there is actually a lot of improvement into it. And the first one, when you're going to sit into it, it's craftsmanship and quality. So we went back into every single corners, every intersection, and make sure that we enable this kind of overlap. We don't have two parts coming together, as you can see the joint. We enable this overlap so you don't see the gaps. So you have something a lot more harmonious. In terms of technology, no more handbrake. We have something that we call the electronic parking brake that allows you to have a much more connected, much more clean console connection to the IP. You have the detail of the stitches, the high quality leather, and then finally a new steering wheel, which makes about like 30% of your assumption of premiumness into the vehicle. A much more compact airbag. If you look at the switches, everything is much more precise than the old steering wheel, as well as what we call something as concentric dynamism. So we kind of angle a lot of the bright work. So when you sit in your driving position, the bright work in the steering wheel all converge into this one gauge in the center. So again, you sit into the vehicle, you don't really understand why, but you have this idea of connecting, this idea of I want to drive. And this is what we call the Jim-Baitai connection, this oneness between you and the vehicle. Now on the Mazda 6, basically we have the same exterior design, even though we have a few small details like the blinker, the turn signal on the mirror. But the biggest, again, the biggest difference is the current model. Done talking, I invite you to really sit into this vehicle and just feel, what you touch. We've got Nappa leather. much more stretchy, but again, the quality of touching it. We've got different work of piping around the seat that you can see even approaching the vehicle, a new perforation pattern, a new steering wheel. We've got also introduction of a new metal that doesn't look kind of shiny. You have much more matte, which bring the quality all together. And then even just, again, that finishing of intersecting part that comes together perfectly. This is kind of the master puzzle that we've been aiming for Mazda Premium. That's it for my part. So, if you please, come and join, and then just sit in the car and then just feel and see what's around you. Thank you very much.